Hey, peace and blessings to you. My name is Jerry B. I am the EntreMusician, and so are you. One of the things that I guess, most grateful for as we started this podcast is we made the decision that we were never just going to go after the big guns on this podcast. What we wanted to do is we wanted to make sure that whether they won 6 or 7 Grammys, and we've been blessed to interview some Grammy winners, or whether they just released their first EP yesterday, we feel that everyone has a story and that everyone has a song to either sing or to express from their spirit. And so today, I am so very, very grateful to present to you one of my new best friends who I just absolutely really dig his music. This is Marc Victor Maria Denys, and he is a wonderful Dreamhouse producer who creates music that wins hearts and soothes souls. How are you, my friend?
Thank you for having me, Jerry B. Blessings also to you.
Thank you.
Um, Thank you for the introduction. I'm honored, and
We're
I'm
honored to have
fine.
you.
I'm fine, and technology brings us closer together because you're in the States and I'm in Europe. So it's technology can be a wonderful thing, of course,
It
if
is
it's used
absolutely
correctly.
wonderful. Oh, if it's used correctly. Well, yeah, that's
Yes.
absolutely. Absolutely right. Well, I'm so grateful that we were able to put this conversation together, Marc, because I remember meeting you last year. I think it was right beyond the summer in 2024, and I was invited by Nardi and now to come on to a community that you're involved in, SYNTH Society, and that's where I
Yes.
met you and a bunch of wonderful other young musicians. First of all, why don't you tell us a little bit about Synth Society, and then you can tell me about this amazing dream house music you create.
Well, for starters, was on Instagram one day, and I saw an ad for a masterclass. So I thought that's maybe something for me. So I signed up, and so I entered. But like 1 hour or 2 hours later, got a message if I was interested in the music label because they heard my music and they were interested. So of course I got a bit curious. So I went to the website from Sin Society, and I was interested. So from the one came the other. So eventually I signed a deal with them,
Mhm.
and then a few master classes later, I met you there because you were indeed invited by Nardi, who is one of the how do you say it in English?
He's one of the administrators or one of the
Yes,
leaders of
yes,
it.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. So that's how we came to meet again, and since Society is a young company. Um, it's an indie music label, and it supports really, really um, great artists, and it's very inspiring, and they support you very well.
Hmm. In many ways, it reminds me of the EntreMusician community, just in the spirit of how all of you were dialoguing and how all of you are learning to really propel your music to the next level. And in Nardi and Nout, I see guys who are just go getters and really making it happen. So it did my heart good to be invited to that conversation.
Well, it was nice having you there because you were on a roll, so to speak. So we learned a lot from you. So that was very interesting. Afterwards, we had a conversation when you were gone, and we said this was the best masterclass till then.
Oh, well, I'm grateful.
So
I'm
yeah,
grateful. grateful to participate. I think one of the conversations that I had with Nardi is that, all over the world, whether it's Europe, whether it's the States, wherever you see serious musicians, especially in our age group, is that, we're very serious about what we are doing and we want to do the absolute best that we can. So there's no competition or no trying to compare. It's just trying to come together and collaborate and move the music forward.
Yes, indeed, that is true because you support each other. Like Nardi released yesterday uh, a new song. It's called "I Need Your Love," which I love, and it's a very cool track. And then I saw it going very hard on YouTube, so I was very happy for him. So I also messaged him that. So I'm very happy for you that it's doing so wonderful, you know. And when you support each other, it's good for your self-esteem, but it also makes you a better person, and it makes
Yes.
also better for your music.
Absolutely. Absolutely right. I couldn't have said that any better myself. And so I'm going to have to type a note to Nardi and congratulate him as well. I'm going to have to do it. But let's talk about you a little bit, Mark. I mean, how long
Yeah.
have you been into music, and what were some of the inspirations that started you into the music industry? Were you always involved from the time that you were a young man, or was this something that
Yes.
just happened recently?
Well, in the Netherlands, where I live, in my teenage years, there was the top 40,
Hmm.
and every week there was a small paper, you know, with the charts. So me and my friend ran to the store, grabbed that paper, and then we looked what a song is doing well and what song is doing not so great. And
Hmm.
then from that chart, we bought our music. So we had like so big all records and CDs at that
Yes.
time. So then Prince in 1984 came with his masterpiece Purple Rain, and a few years later I got a dream of Prince.
Mm.
It was a remarkable dream because in the dream there was a voice, and the voice said I should follow Prince's his career as long as he lives. So that is also what I did.
Hmm.
But in the 90s, I started to make my own music, electronic dance music, and that was in 95. But
Hmm.
after 95, I got ill. I've been ill for a very, very long time, so I couldn't make music. But in the 2010, I made my first full album called Life as We Know It,
Life as we
which
know it.
was also published at that time through DistroKid. So I had no indie label or whatsoever. But I was so enthusiastic that I released 6 tracks in 1 month, which was way too much, of course. But I was new to the scene, so my singles did not very well, but I got a few thousand streams. But I was very proud of myself that I finally published my own music.
Yeah.
It was a tremendous good feeling.
Yeah.
Then I got
Absolutely.
better. Then I got ill again, and then now I'm better again. And since 2019, I make music again.
Amazing. So your music has really been fuel to help you move forward. Then
Yes, my music and my girlfriend.
don't want to leave the girlfriend out.
Yeah,
Absolutely not. Well, God bless you, man. It's hard to describe your music. So I am very thankful that you describe it for us because one can be used to house music have the house music, the EDM, you know, and then one can be used to having ambient music where you're kind of settling down, but you take that blend and you kind of bring it together. And so you have that atmosphere, but you also have that energy. Was that something that you dreamed about, something that you actually heard in your spirit, or were there other artists who were already pioneering that and you were
Well,
following in their footsteps?
I was a big fan of Jimi Hendrix, big fan of Michael Jackson, big fan of Prince, of course, and I was also inspired by my father because my father really liked Fats Domino.
Wow.
So in my early years, I was inspired by that. In the beginning, when I was little, I didn't really like it, but when I grew older, I appreciated it more and more.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the influences, but it's a deliberate decision to blend those vibes because it gives a special flavor to the music. Because it's not you hear a lot of EDM music, and I don't want to criticize, but a lot of EDM music sounds the same because
Yeah.
when someone makes a hit and they want to copy that hit, but that's not how it works. You have to follow your own intuition and make
Sure.
music what you like, and no music that because it's a hit I'm gonna do the same.
Right. Right. No, you're absolutely right, and it's you've said many things there that it has pushed some buttons in me. Let's start from the end. Is yes, you're right because I don't hear a repetition in your music. You know, with regard to the intuition that you're talking about, your music has movement to it, and it's adventurous, and it takes you somewhere. Okay. With that being the first thing, the second thing is with the influences that you said from, Prince and Michael Jackson and who your dad liked, did you say Fats Domino?
Persona, yes.
So I don't hear any of that in your music. So they may have influenced you, but again, you have such a unique sound that I think you've created your own genre of music. I really mean that.
Yeah, thank you. I know you don't hear that had that in my music, but I hear it in my head.
That's an amazing thing. The life and the mind of a composer. You said something else too, Mark. That because I was a huge Prince fan growing up, and it's interesting because you called Purple Rain Prince's masterpiece, right? While that may be, I personally think, and this is why this is a conversation, but I personally think that 1999 was his masterpiece, and it was the movie Purple Rain that catapulted him. What do you think? What do you
Well,
think about that?
I can agree to a certain extent because he made a few masterpieces. But
True.
when I have the option to choose, then I choose the album where Paisley Park is on it, because
Mm-hmm.
he goes the last track. He goes like a conversation between him and God, and
Yeah.
I love that track so much. That's
Yeah.
his true masterpiece.
Yeah.
But sadly, it was not a really commercial success.
Sure.
When you look against Purple Rain or 99, um, they were commercially better successes. But
Sure.
Paisley Park and Raspberry Beret, that are all-time classics.
That's absolutely correct. And it's amazing to me because I personally feel that, a true artist is not necessarily chasing the commercial appeal. The true artist is really speaking from his or her heart. And some is going to hit, the crowd is going to like it, or it's going to be commercially feasible and acceptable, and you're going to be lauded with all of this. And then some of your deepest work, people are not going to really buy it, but it still came from here, you know?
Yeah, that's the most important thing, that comes from your heart, your soul, because people feel it when your
Yes.
music comes from your heart or your soul, the energy is in it, and
That's
it
right.
transcends the other person. When
Yes.
you make some music and there is no soul in it, you feel it immediately.
It's absolutely correct. Well, that, leads to the next question because this is something that you and I have shared offline, and we can talk about it publicly, but we are both men of faith and we both really follow the Lord Jesus Christ, and that comes through in our music. And so, we talked about your music driving you, your girlfriend being an element
Yes.
of your music going forward, but your faith is a real foundation in what you do musically as
Yeah.
well. You want to talk about that?
Because yes, my faith, because I was ill for a long time, my faith pulled me through.
Yeah.
Because I think when I wouldn't have had God in my life, I wouldn't be sitting here right now talking to you.
Yeah.
I truly mean that, because my faith, because you have highs and you have lows, and it's not difficult to believe in God when you are on a high, but it's a different thing when you are on a low. Then you can um, truly appreciate what God does for you, and because
Absolutely.
God tests you also to see how strong your faith is in
Yeah.
reality. Because when everything is hallelujah, then everybody can say, I believe in God. But when you're in your deepest misery, then sometimes people said, why do you still do you believe in God? You're sick. I
Mm.
say, I choose to believe in God. I
Yes.
don't say you have to choose believe in God, but it's my choice, it's my life. So I have the right to believe in God.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I can tell you that your music has a spiritual dynamic to it. I mean, you don't have to listen long to know that your relationship with the Lord is on point. And I really applaud you for all of the elements that you bring to the table when your music is played. And I want to talk about, because you have two websites. You have the I Am
Yes,
Mark, and you have the song which is dedicated to the Lord. That's your recent release, but you also have another website as well. So
yes.
let's talk about the crisscross between the two
Well,
sites.
we were first about the what's not on the screen. Marc Victor Maria Denys music.com. That's where my EDM is. I released over with the Synth Society like 10 tracks, one album, but I had got one problem because Spotify got affected by bot lists. So that's not.
Oh,
We retracted one EP because otherwise the community would shut it down.
I see.
Because and because of the community, we decided to take it down. But some really strange things are happening on Spotify, and I hate that
Yeah.
because you can't do anything about it at the moment you see it. Yes, the day after, but then you are too late.
Yes.
So that's what I want to say.
Yes.
My website is dedicated to the electronic dance music, and the releases that I made with Synth Society are all on that. The releases that I made with DistroKid, I retracted them, and because I only focus now on Synth Society.
I see.
The website is of course dedicated to it, and I think there are some splendid tracks on it. There are some tracks that I think are good, but are not my best. But I think every artist has his favorites, of course. And I also have, because my last track, Love Delicious, I worked with an international singer from Mauritius, and she did a wonderful job. I thanked her very much for her, and I love the song. I written the song myself,
Yeah.
so she just sang it, and the music. I had composed the music, and Nadi reworked it, the music, and
Mm.
together with me. So I find it a masterpiece, but um, opinions can differ, of course.
I think what you guys are doing is absolutely fantastic. And although I haven't heard that song, I would love to hear it. And Nardi, when he was on the Entree Musician one Sunday night, it was well past midnight for him, but we were hanging out, and he had played a couple of his mixes, and boy, I mean, just dynamite music. So I can't wait to hear about the composition you're talking about, because I know that's going to be fantastic.
Well, he makes he loves especially uplifting music. That's what I also love. No, because you have many music that gives you like, for instance, that's not electronic dance music, but Billie Eilish. My daughter was in her teenage years in a very difficult stage, and she continuously listened to Billie Eilish because it's very melancholic, if I
Okay.
say the word
Yeah.
correctly,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he got depressed from it. So I said you had to stop listening to that music, listen to uplifting music, listen
Right.
to something that gives you, because you have to eat, but you have also to feed the mind. So if you feed
Absolutely.
your mind with negative lyrics, then you're not gonna feel happy, of course.
Sure.
So eventually she listened, and she did that. So the last track that I made, Love Delicious, with Nardi is, I don't know the English word for it. It's not very uplifting, but it's very, yeah, I know the Dutch word, but you don't understand it if I say it in Dutch.
Well, say it.
Ingetogen.
Say it. Somebody will listen. Somebody will
Ingetogen.
understand it.
Ingetogen. That
Uh
means
huh.
it's very, yeah.
It's more heartfelt.
Yeah, it's more heartfelt, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the lyrics also go about love in general,
Mm-hmm.
because there is a line in it, um, and the child holds the hand of the mother, and it's a love story. It's an old love story, so it's not only about boy and a girl, but also between a child and his or her mother.
Yeah. Beautiful. Absolutely. Um, what do you think, Mark, has been the most challenging thing that you've had to learn and then apply in the music industry? You were telling me about, the challenges that you had with Spotify and whatnot, but
Yeah.
in the industry as a whole, and I know you guys talk about this in synth society, but has there been something, a personal challenge for you in releasing your music or marketing that your music, that you say, well, this is something that I've learned and I've overcome it, and this is how I'm implementing it or putting it into practice?
Well, the first time I released my first track, it was, of
Hmm.
course, a big victory for myself.
Yes.
But I sat there, this, and I thought, now the streams are coming, now the streams are coming. But of course, that's not the way it works. But
Exactly.
you're new to the scene, so you don't know anything.
Right.
So on a day I was on Twitter, and there was a guy who contacts me and says, "I'm gonna promote you because I was new to the scene." So I paid the guy $50. I came in into a playlist with hip hop. I didn't know anything about, because I don't like hip hop,
Yeah.
not because,
Yeah.
just because of the lyrics.
Yeah.
That's the
I
reason.
understand. I understand.
And so I got in the playlist, and I got 2 streams from it. But that $50 was
Yeah.
my lessons money. I
Yeah.
called it.
Yeah.
I had paid the lesson, so
Yes.
I knew I had never have to do that again. So now I promote through Instagram, Facebook. I make ads, and that's some sort kind of thing. And because I'm with Synth Society, we support each other. So
Yes.
it begins small, but it starts to grow bigger and bigger and bigger. But the biggest challenge was to release, because I was very afraid in the beginning that people, I like my music, but
Yes.
if that people would laugh at me.
Mm. So that was a self-esteem or an insecurity that you had to overcome. But some people call it imposter syndrome. But now you're very confident in what you're doing and just moving forward with it like a steamroller.
Yeah, because um, along the way you do not measure against other people. You measure against yourself,
That's
because
correct.
you want to become a better person for yourself every day. And if you become a better person, your music also gets better. And
That's
you
right.
have to believe in your own music. If you don't love your own music, then nothing good will come of it.
Brother, you speaking like an absolute expert, man. Absolutely. That is definitely on point. Now, usually I ask everyone who sits down with me for these conversations, I'm sure that you have been on interviews before and you say to yourself, well, I know he's going to ask me this question, but I haven't asked. And you feel that the audience needs to know this about you or your music. Can you tell me something about you or about your music that I haven't asked and you think it's important to get out there?
Well, at first, when I started creating a song, a track, I have an idea in my head, but I don't know where it will lead to. So, for Blessing of God, I had the idea I want to make a Zen album, a New
Mm,
Age music album,
yeah.
but I didn't know what will it sound. You try ideas, but you don't know what is the final product, so to speak. So along the way, by experimenting, you you create it. And in the beginning, I liked it. After 2 days, I didn't like it, and after 2 years, I loved it. Do you understand how it works?
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. And there are things that just kind of grow on you. And I think it's this is just my opinion, but it's self discovery as an artist, that you're really discovering more about yourself as time goes on, as you age, as you have more life experiences, different relationships, and all of that kind of seeps out into your music. So when you think at one particular time, I don't know, but as you grow, mature, and have other experience, you go, that's the ticket. That's exactly how I feel. you know?
That's that's correct. You can, because music is also a time machine. Because
Certainly.
from the moment you create it, you think, okay, that's good. Maybe 3 months later, you don't feel very well. You think that's garbage. And then, and 1 year later, you say that's my best work, so to speak. Because it's also, like you say, along the way how you grow as a person. And
Yes,
what if you become a better person, your music also gets better. And
that's right.
with God at your side, you automatically become a better person,
That's
because
right.
God never leaves you.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely. Well, this is a perfect note to end this conversation on. I would hope that sometimes in the future, after you've released some more music, you will come back and hang out with us on the podcast.
That's good.
Is
I
that good
will,
for
I will.
you? Because I don't want this to be our last conversation.
No, but I don't want to be that either. So I really enjoy it, and it's um, lovely to speak something where you're so passionate about.
Yes. Yeah. And it really is. It's a gift that God has given us to be able to express ourselves through music. And that's how I treat it. I treat it like a precious, tender gift. The opportunity to work with all of the musicians and singers that I've had an opportunity to work with, to be able to meet with people like you and Nardi and Naud and those, the community at the Synth Society, and just
Yeah.
on and on and on. It's a blessing. So I don't take it for granted. I'm not one of those musicians that just, turns up my nose at it. I'm grateful to be able to participate in this larger community. And I'm grateful to be able to meet people like you who are doing it and doing it and doing it. I really dig your music, bro.
Thank you very much. I want to say something about that.
Sure.
A few months ago, I saw a documentary, and there was about people, about artists, and the man said there are artists who have like 5,000 streams, and you have artists who have like 10,000 streams on Spotify. And the artist who has 10,000 streams thinks he's better than the one he has 5,000 streams. But then you have DJs that have millions of streams,
Yeah.
and they are the most kindest people.
Yeah.
So your attitude makes a difference if you are going to be successful or
Yes.
not.
Yes.
If you treat people right, then everything will come good. But if you scoff people, then nothing will come good of it.
That's correct.
So this also has to do with the better person again and with your faith.
That's right. It's absolutely correct, bro. Absolutely correct. This is
Yeah.
Marc Victor Maria Denys from the Netherlands. Excellent, excellent dream house producer who've come to hang out with us at the EntreMusician. And I'm grateful for this conversation, and I can't wait to see you again, brother.
Thank you, and it was a pleasure having me.
It's a pleasure having you here without fail. And we'll talk again sometime. We're gonna continue our conversations offline,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Well, God
Very
bless
good.
you. Bless you,
God bless
man. That's going to do it for this episode of the EntreMusician podcast. Once again, Marc Victor Maria Denys. You got to check out his websites. Marc Victor Maria Denys is spelled Denys. You can go to that website, or I-M-Marc, M-A-R-C, and check out both aspects of his music. You will absolutely love it. I want to thank you for joining us here at the EntreMusician. I want you to click this link if you want to hook up with us. Okay? You got to become a part of the EntreMusician community. I also want you to like, subscribe, and share this video. Tell everybody you know, 10 people you don't know, that you get down with the EntreMusician, and let's make it happen together. That's why I always say it. I'm going to say it again. My name is Jerry B. I am the EntreMusician, but here's what's most important. So are you. We will see you again next time.